Dr. Roderick Richmond into that permanent role, and they are doing so right now. To just give you a little bit of background, Dr. Richmond brings about 30 years of experience to the district. He was appointed as interim superintendent in January of 2025 after the firing of former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans. We're going to give you a live look inside of the MSCS board meeting right now as board leaders are discussing that decision. And as we are waiting to get that up, I'll give you a little bit more information as we are waiting to give you a little bit more of a look inside of what's going on right here. Again, Dr. Richmond has served in the education space for about 30 years. He served as the transformation officer in 2024 under former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans. If you remember, the board brought the idea of firing former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans back in December of 2024 and eventually went through with that termination in January of 2025, then appointing Dr. Richmond as the interim at this time. You can see there board members are continuing to discuss the idea. They have already approved a measure on looking and searching for another superintendent, whether that be Dr. Richmond or widening the search to a national one. But they also seem quite intent right now on discussing the possibility of making Dr. Richmond the permanent full-time superintendent at this point. Many of the board members just in the last couple of minutes have talked about how great of a job Dr. Richmond has been doing for the district and really negating any idea of expanding the search any further because they have agreed with him quite well in this process over the last year that he has been the interim and have worked with him quite well. Board member Keith Williams mentioned that. Board member Amber Hewitt-Garcia and Tamarcus Porter also said similar sentiments about how well they've been working with Dr. Richmond at this time. Again, he has laid out some pretty extensive plans since he has been the interim, particularly about furthering a lot of school initiatives that would really make the Memphis-Shelby County Schools district a more positive one for the students and families that are within it. He specifically talked about curbing things like chronic absenteeism. He had also mentioned things about making sure the district was better acquainted with all of the families that are within it and working in a more side-by-side manner to that. He also introduced a lot of the regional superintendent offices that are in there, and they would be really a step below him, being more of a liaison between many of the schools and Dr. Roderick Richmond himself. So he introduced a lot of new concept into the district as well. Again, he has been in this position now for about a year, and as many of those board members are discussing the possibility of him becoming the permanent superintendent at this point, we do want to give you a better look inside the meeting and let you hear a bit more of what they are discussing and whether or not they will decide tonight as to if Dr. Richmond will be the new superintendent for Memphis-Shelby County Schools permanently. Take a listen.
It's the governor, what are the possibility of the governor actually appointing someone else?
I'm going to say it's not anything we can manage at this point in time. I don't know. There's nothing we don't have. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me go to the next one. Were you done?
I'm done.
Okay. I have Michelle. I have board member McKissick and then Garcia.
I just want to clarify that I am not looking at any external factors outside of Memphis and in Nashville. I am focused on what is best for this district, for this community, for these students and these educators. And ripping the Band-Aid off and making a decision tonight is what I believe is best for this community. They don't want any more drama. They want us to do what we've been doing for the past year. We have worked hard as a board to come back to a point of cohesiveness, to make decisions where our boardroom meetings are half empty. That's the job. You know, where it's just we're doing the job of the district. And as we've stated, no one is perfect. No one was perfect before we had this current administration. But I'm glad that we, those who felt differently a year or so ago, have continued to work with this administration, with this board, to try to move forward and do what's best for children. And that's what I'm focused on tonight. I'm not looking into what happened in the past. It's done. I'm focused on the right now and how to move forward. And that's why I want to take this vote tonight so that we can move forward as our general counsel has stated in negotiating the next steps.
Garcia.
The inconsistency I referenced earlier is that we have to stop anticipating what other people may do. It is as if making a decision at the threat of a lawsuit. If we did that, we would never make a decision, right? That you can't predict what's going to happen. What do you want and who do you want to lead? That is your decision. You shouldn't do it in response to what could happen. You need to examine it in front of you. And then, again, reminding you, if this is the decision, we come up with the terms of that employment. Okay? This is, it is time to make a decision based on what is best for the district right now. And I'm in agreement with forward with this.
Board Member Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm hungry, my head hurts. Let's call for the question and let's get them appointed.
Do we have a second? Second. It has been moved by Board Member Murphy and seconded by Board Member Williams that we call for the question. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter. Aye. Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love. Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Vice Chair Coleman.
Aye.
Board Chair King.
Aye. So now we have a unanimous vote to call for the question. We're back to the main motion. I am not going to repeat that motion. We have it on the record. Just in general, for the appointment of Dr. Richmond and for our general counsel to move forward with the contract negotiations around that. Is that within? So within 14 days? After 14 days. All right. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member McKissick.
Aye.
Board Member Garcia.
Aye.
Board Member Porter. Aye. Board Member Murphy.
Aye.
Board Member Love.
Aye.
Board Member Otay.
Aye.
Board Member Williams.
Aye.
Board Vice Chair Coleman.
Aye.
Board Chair King.
Aye. We have a unanimous vote for the appointment.
So you're seeing all of the applause there because former interim superintendent Dr. Roderick Richmond has just been named as the permanent superintendent. All of those board members voting in favor of having Dr. Richmond step in as that permanent superintendent, so there will no longer be any kind of a search to be had there. That new contract will be presented to Dr. Richmond, according to the board, after a 14-day time period. You can see him giving hugs to several board members. You saw a lot of people giving a round of applause there. Again, Dr. Richmond served as the interim for Memphis-Shelby County Schools for a year now after the firing of former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans. And so again, this new contract will be presented to him after a 14-day time period, likely at the board's next business meeting at this time. Just to give you a bit of a reminder and refresh a little bit, Dr. Richmond brings about 30 years of education experience. He served in several roles across several different districts, including as teacher. He served as principal in multiple capacities. He has also served as transformation officer within the Memphis-Shelby County Schools district as well. So to get you a bit up to speed on how we got here, first, again, this began with the firing of former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans back in January of 2025. That was after about a month worth of discussion and postponement. The board initially brought up the idea of terminating her contract in December of 2024. You may remember there were several different press conferences, there were protests that had to do with her firing. There were several people in the community that were outraged over the prospect of her being fired, but there were also some members of the community that we here at ABC24 talked to that felt that that was something that should take place. We did lots of different interviews about both sides of the aisle. Again, Dr. Richmond was named as interim immediately after the board voted to terminate her contract. There was a series of packed meetings. You can see how many people were lining all of those meetings. There were several board members who were adamantly against her firing, but of course, ultimately, there were enough there to substantiate that and to vote her out of being the superintendent. And again, now as you have just heard, former interim superintendent Dr. Roderick Richmond has now been voted in as the permanent superintendent for that district. Again, his new contract will not come until about 14 days from now. Now, again, we've been talking to a lot of different people in the community about all of this. A couple of days ago, I spoke with Shelby County Commissioner Brittany Thornton after the board was what kind of went into more of a ruling. They actually heard more from a judge about the lawsuit that they had about the potential of aligning school board elections with county elections at that time. And so that judge overturned a lot of what the county had voted on and essentially ruled to keep many of those names on the ballot. So that is not a legal fight that many of those board members will have to face any longer. However, she did talk to me about how jarring it was to go through the process of seeing the termination of former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans, and that she said she supports Dr. Richmond as a person. She supports his educational initiatives and what he has done for the district. It is just the manner in which all of this has been handled and the amount that has really been going on over the past year and some change now that really has made the difference for her. So she is hoping that Dr. Richmond would be the best fit for this district and that there is no longer any problems when it comes to that as well. And our Pepper Baker also sat down with Dr. Richmond a couple of days ago and talked more about what he is doing for the district, what his plans are, what his hopes are for the families and students of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. I want to let you listen to more of her conversation with him.
My business is to get up each and every day and to give this school district and this community, to give them an honest day's work. And I wake up every day and I do that with passion and purpose. I'm gonna continue to do it until the school board either makes a decision to make me the long-term permanent person or until the school board makes another decision. And I'll accept whatever decision that is.
And so we're going to take you back out live. You can see Superintendent Dr. Roderick Richmond right there. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Obviously, you were an intern. How does it feel right now? Your eyes are a little watery. Can you just
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I never would have dreamed that I'd be blessed to lead a district that spawned me. I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about the fact that I want our district to be the #1 urban district in the country.
Dr. Richmond, a lot of people were talking about your efforts to stabilize the school district. We know your tenure here in the district, probably over 3 decades. Let's talk about why you make the best candidate for this job, considering the district needs to be stabilized in the hovering over a state takeover.
Well, so much, when you think about the historical context and where we are right now, so much about it is about the stability, but also continuity. And for people, you heard a board member talk about what happens when people on the outside of the district are looking at coming here. To have that stability is important. But also, as I go back and forth to Nashville, legislators, many of them have asked me, Dr. Richmond, when are they going to make you the permanent superintendent? They've also talked about the superintendent role in having turnover. As I meet and talk to auditors, they talk about the turnover. Stability and having retention in our district is one of the most important things we can do now. And so I'm happy that I'm in the seat, and I'm hoping that we've stabilized the district. Now what I want us to do is provide the continuity necessary for us to turn it around.
Superintendent Richmond, right after you became an interim, you talked to us all in the cafeteria back there about 2013, when you also sought this position. Have you been thinking about that?
Well, I thought about it back in January. It would have marked the 13th year. And at the time, for people who may not know, what I was told then is anyone who was in the interim role could not be the permanent superintendent. Each time the job opened, that was what I was told, that anyone who was in the interim role could not be in the permanent role. So I know people in the community have a lot of questions about why didn't he make it? Why hasn't he been a finalist? I've been a finalist in 3 different districts. I had a job in Marshall County that I turned down because I didn't want to establish domicile. I was a finalist in Jackson. I was a finalist in Nashville. All of the headhunters as well as the search group last time that we had the search made me feel that I was going to be a finalist. Why wasn't I a finalist? I don't know. But I didn't cry about it. I wasn't bitter about it. I rolled up my sleeves and I continued to contribute to this district. I don't believe God allows things to happen to you. He allows things to happen for you. All of those experiences that I've gone through for the last 13 years, I think have prepared me for this moment in time. And so I think I'm the right person for the right time, and I'm excited about God affording me this opportunity, and I'm going to make the best of it.
Can you share with us what you're thinking, given that your tenure here could be short-lived if a state-appointed body gets the hiring and firing power? Lawmakers have said they want to give
I know at this point it sounds cliche, but I very much live in the moment. I'm taking it one day at a time, one moment at a time. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, I just want to focus on the work. I want to drown out the noise. As Nehemiah says, I want to stay on the wall. I don't want to give into any distractions, because what's important now is just being focused on the work.
What are your
Y'all,
thoughts
2 more
about
questions,
the,
and then we're going to
teacher
bring in the board chair for
evaluation?
questions. 2
What are your
more, and that's it.
Yes, sir. What are your thoughts about the teacher evaluation? We're hearing that they want the data to get better. What are your thoughts that the teacher is saying, we want better morale, or, I guess, work from you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to reach out to teachers. If you go back and look at that evaluation, it really wasn't as much about teacher morale as it was about teachers feeling connected to the superintendent and knowing what the academic plan is and me connecting with them. So I've started a weekly newsletter, but I've also met with the associations, and I'm going to set up opportunities for me to meet with teachers. I have one scheduled, I think, for the 26th of February, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't have a problem with teachers. I'm a teacher-friendly superintendent. You ask anyone who knows me, they'll tell you that I'm the type person that people can work for, that teachers have always wanted to work for, because I believe in supporting people. I believe in treating people really like I would want to be treated. And so I'm going to take care of that. I don't have a doubt in my mind that teachers and I are going to form those bonds and relationships needed to push our district forward.
What will be
Last
different?
one.
What will be different without the interim title in your leadership for this district?
It's just that, as people know, I think it's more about passion and purpose. A title doesn't define me, and so I don't see any difference in being the permanent superintendent or being the interim superintendent. But just believe I'm going to show up each and every day and give this community an honest day's work.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Richmond.
Thank you, Law. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't get your damn phone out of my shop. I'm sorry. Are we good?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You want anything?
Who comes board chair? Where's she at? Oh.
We have just heard from the newly appointed permanent superintendent, Dr. Roderick Richmond. Again, the board voted him in just a couple of minutes ago. And so if you're just joining us, I just want to run down a couple of points that he just mentioned as he was speaking to members of the media about what he's looking forward to this position now that he has been named the permanent superintendent of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. He said he is very excited and that he wants this to become the #1 district. He also talked about the importance and significance of stability in this role and how now that he has stabilized the district, he wants to provide continuity. He wants to make sure he is connecting with teachers and families and staff to make sure they are provided the best possible. You're also going to now hear from Board Chair Natalie McKinney, who's speaking to members of the media now. Let's listen in.
We asked him for an academic plan. He gave us an academic plan. So now we know the pathway we're going for our students for the next 5 years. He has an academic plan from 2025 to 2030. We haven't had that in 10 years. We asked him for a facilities plan. one of our members of the Facilities Ad Hoc Committee said, you know what, I was a little apprehensive about doing this because I've been on these committees before, but this is the first time that this board has actually moved to adopt something, which we did today, and to actually put it in motion, which we are starting with the things we are going to do at the next board meeting, contemplate in terms of closure. We asked him to do academic and operations scorecard. He's done that for us so that we can publicly and transparently monitor what we're doing around academics and operations. So that turned into him doing an audit of our internal controls, and he's in the process of putting some of those things into place. So that's what we needed from a superintendent. Look, I was one of the advocates that brought Dr. Fagans in, who wanted a process with fidelity, and I say fidelity. That did not necessarily occur on the first time, and then we had to do it a second time. So I understand that, but I also understand context. While we don't make decisions in reaction, we have to make decisions about stability. And right now, with all the context, yes, we do have to take into account the state, but we also have to take into account our students' academic achievement. And right now, what we're seeing is that it is increasing, and it's been increasing over time. So we've got the leadership, so we made the decision tonight. And a unanimous decision by that.
Why was it so important for you all to make the decision tonight? What was the risk that would have taken place if you all tabled this?
I think one of the things, and I'm going to be very honest and transparent with you, while some of my board members say we don't need to think about those things, I'm one of the board members that says, yes, we do. We need to think about those things because that's the reality of the situation, right? So in dealing with the reality of the situation, we needed to make sure we had steady and stable. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that if we didn't have that, this would have probably been a different conversation. But we have it. And I think one of our board members said, we have it, what are we looking for? Yeah.
Board Chair, what are you thinking about as you consider this contract? What's an appropriate number of years?
I think this is going to be something that we have to do collectively, but me personally, as I said, the academic plan is a 5-year academic plan. He's put in 1 year, so I'm looking at anywhere, maybe 3 years with a 1-year possible extension. And I think that also holds us accountable to the community, because it gives us that ramp that if we do have to do something different, we can do that, and we can do that with community.
Kind of talk just one follow-up question. I asked this also of Dr. Richmond. This decision could be short-lived, depending on what the legislature does. How does that feel?
I will say this as well. I am a fighter, and I think the board has demonstrated that we are fighting. Anything that what I have seen, I haven't seen what's going to come out of conference committee, but the 2 versions that I have seen have some legal problems. So again, it would have to be the board to make the decision as a collective as to whether we're going to fight that particular bill.
And you're talking about a legal challenge in court?
Absolutely.
So kind of talk a little bit about Dr. Richmond was brought in after Dr. Fagans was ousted, voted out. Kind of talk about that process from that then till now, and how he's done, in your opinion, coming in with such a lot going on.
I think he's done a tremendous job given the circumstances. I think I said at a board meeting once before, this is very tumultuous times that he came in. And again, I said earlier, he came in, he did what we asked him to do. We asked him to do 3 things, and he did those 3 things, and he's doing those 3 things well. Yes, there are challenges, and where there are challenges, there are opportunities, and I think you all heard that earlier today. When he did, I want to say this, he asked for that informal evaluation. It was not anything in his contract. He asked for that. And he participated in thinking it was a good idea to do the survey. So that is, to me, that's a leader who wants continuous improvement. So I see a very self-aware and self-reflective superintendent. I always say you can't get to self-reflective if you don't get to self-aware.
Did you all not see that previously?
I'm going to, I made a decision that I stand by with the previous administrator. I did not see that.
How do you measure success in this role for him, given what happened last year?
I think, again, we've asked for the performance objectives. We'll be making a decision around that. That's how we will measure success, when we set those performance objectives in those very particular areas.
Any other revisions to the contract you're thinking about?
I haven't, again, the most I've thought about is probably the length of it. I would have to look at the contract again, and I think we all have to look at it, and we have to make a collective decision about what that'll be.
Last question, one question. People watching this will say, MSCS, we've gone through enough superintendents. How can we know or ensure this won't be like the last 3 times? Because we've only had a permanent superintendent for just a year, then an interim, then another one. So how can we ensure the public who's watching this that we won't repeat the same mistake?
I think you have some things in place that the board has asked for and that the superintendent has agreed to do. The scorecard. We're going to measure him. I think you've heard him say that it's going to be a top down, bottom up. So what is expected of teachers in the classroom, school leaders in a building, and then his district staff, he's going to be the one that's going to be held responsible for all of those things. I don't think we've had that with any other superintendents. I'm fairly new to the board, but I've paid attention, and I don't think we have had that with any district leadership since the merger.
It was mentioned by many board members today that not everybody's going to be happy with whatever decisions that you make. What do you have to say to the parents and some of the students that made about this decision?
My hope is that through the work that we're doing as a board, the governance training, we're doing that with the superintendent. I don't think that's happened in a long time. And so we're learning our role and how to hold him accountable. And so my thing is, again, you hold us accountable. I think we're going to be looking at things like a board self-evaluation. At least I'm definitely going to suggest to my colleagues that that's something that we consider, so that, again, we're transparent about what we are doing and hold us accountable. And where we get held accountable is that next time at the ballot box.
All right, that was good. I'm good. My arm hurts. Oh, sorry.
No, appreciate it. I'm dying. My arm is killing me.
And if you are just now joining us, you're just hearing from Board Chair Natalie McKinney at Memphis-Shelby County Schools, talking about how much she is looking forward to working with Dr. Richmond as the now unanimously appointed permanent superintendent of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. She said that he has provided a lot of transparency, specifically around academic operations, and that was something that she was really looking for in the process following the termination of former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans. She was also looking for a process that included a lot of context as to the number of years and level of experience that this person would bring to the superintendent position. Again, just to give you a reminder and run down some very important points for you, Dr. Richmond comes to the table with more than 30 years of experience in education. He has also held roles including teacher, principal, and administrator. He said that he wants to focus on the work and drowning out the noise, and also that he will show up every day and make sure that teachers and families and students feel supported in his role as the permanent superintendent. Board Chair McKinney also emphasized that he has increased academic performance, and she feels that he has done a tremendous job given the circumstances that he was placed into that position under. Several board members also emphasized the importance of him working well with them, it being more of a collaborative relationship, and him improving many of the academic performances and scores that they were all looking for in the next permanent superintendent of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Now, a very important question was asked towards the end of Board Chair McKinney speaking there, and that was about how, if at all, this may impact conversations about a state takeover of Memphis-Shelby County Schools district. Well, she was saying that she feels that is something that the board will have to ultimately decide if legislation is passed on how, if at all, they may want to fight this. Dr. Richmond responded to that question by saying that he wants to focus on the work and drown out a lot of the noise that's going on and really just focus on his job and position at this point. But again, it does remain to be seen if his new permanent appointment at all will sway any of these state lawmakers who are still very much intensely bringing up the points of the potential of a state takeover at this point. So it remains to be seen if this new appointment will sway them in either direction at all at this point. I also spoke with Shelby County Commissioner Brittany Thornton, who also told me that she is waiting to see what state legislators are doing and how these decisions may impact what they are doing as well. So it seems that everybody across Memphis and Shelby County is really waiting on more of that legislation to be discussed and the rollout of what that may look like there. Again, Dr. Richmond was just appointed as the permanent superintendent of Memphis-Shelby County Schools after a year of being the interim superintendent. He says he's looking forward to the work and making sure that teachers and board members and students are supported in all of these endeavors. We are going to leave it here on 24+. Thank you very much for joining us, but we will be sure to continue our extensive coverage of this vote tonight on ABC24 News at 10.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.